I'm Danielle Smith, and I'm excited today to be chatting with Tristen O'Brien, who is part of a new web series that eBay is doing called MoneyMakers. Tristen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I first would love to start out. Let's talk about why you are part of this web series, how you got involved, and why eBay has been a moneymaker for you.
Really, my story started a couple years ago when my wife Amy and I moved to Indianapolis, or really Westfield, Indiana, for my job. I got relocated. And things were going good. Amy was pregnant with our first baby, and we had a new house. I had a new job. And when I was in the delivery room, I actually got a text message saying that your job's going to be eliminated.
You got a text message?
I got a text message, yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of hearsay type of thing. I really put it in the back of my mind because we were about to have a baby. So, I took 2 weeks off to spend with my family, and the day that I got back, they said, well, your job's being eliminated. So, yeah, it was tough. So we really were kind of forced in to look to some type of passive income to get us by until I found a new job. Because we went from 2 incomes when we lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and then to 1 income to 0.
Now, I can remember when I first took my first job, which was actually in television, which was not a good paying job, having moments where I would look around my house and think, what could I sell to get me through? What was your impetus for thinking, I bet we could make some good money from eBay?
Yeah, so really, I sold on eBay here and there and bought a few things, maybe like 4 or 5 things over the years. But really, when we were forced into it, our kind of aha moment was that we were watching our brand new 55-inch TV, which I loved. And it kind of just hit us both at the same time that really had to go because, by selling that, that's going to bring some money for the family for the next month. And it kind of snowballed from there.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because, Tristen, I think that you have a little bit of a key to eBay that a lot of people don't have. So we're going to play sort of a Cliff Notes version if you're okay with that.
Sure.
I know that there are a lot of people out there who look at eBay and they think, I want to do that. And they may even try it. And if it doesn't work for them right away, they get discouraged.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind, let's give people some tips, some notions of, let's start with the getting started. How would you recommend someone get started in a way that doesn't discourage them very quickly so that they put 1 or 2 things out there, it doesn't sell as well as they want it to, and they say, that's it, I'm done?
Yeah, so first of all, go into ebay.com/start selling. That's the first place you need to go. They're going to walk you through how to set up an account. But really, my tip that I would give you is start slowly. I was really forced into it, and it was hard. I mean, it was really hard to start making money and really getting comfortable with their guidelines and all those things. But, if you start slow and then really be a buyer. So nothing will help you expedite start selling on eBay than buying on eBay. Because really, you're going to understand the selling process by buying things on eBay.
What have you found to be sort of the most successful categories on eBay for you, in terms of selling?
So, like I said, we started selling things around the house at first, and then we kind of moved into more of the big box stores and thrift stores. And what we sell a lot of now is high fashion clothing that we get at thrift stores. So if you can find a polo by Ralph Lauren or Lacoste or maybe even Tommy Bahama, some of the higher value items, you can sell them for $20 to $30 and you buy them for $4. So those are kind of our in between the home runs type of items.
What about shipping? I know that when I first started with eBay a million years ago, when I was first playing around with it, my big hang up was shipping. I never seemed to do it right. It would be the thing where I would think, I just made money. And then I would go to the post office and I would think, I did not make any money on that. How is that possible?
Yeah. So I guess a quick story for me is I bought a Lego set for $2 and I sold it for $20 and I was ecstatic. Free shipping. Well, I had to ship it to Australia, which cost $42. So really, I just lost $22. But to really understand shipping, it does take a little bit of time. And the biggest thing that I recommend doing is getting a digital scale. I found one for $2 at the thrift store. But really, that's going to help you understand how much something weighs. And then on eBay, you can select the weight, and it automatically calculates it for you.
Let's talk pictures, because I know that pictures play a huge role. Anyone who, from a buyer's perspective, I want to see what it is I'm buying.
Yeah.
But I know that we always say, when we put something online and it doesn't sell well, you think, was it my pictures?
Right. Yeah, so pictures definitely are the key to selling something on eBay. But it costs money to put more than one picture on eBay, so you want to be careful. So I always say invest in a digital camera. I mean, it doesn't have to be the best. It's a digital camera where you can take a picture, and if it doesn't look good, maybe try it at a different angle. But taking the best picture that you can and showing the most possible options from one picture is probably the best thing to do, unless you have an eBay store, which is $19.99 a month, and they can have unlimited pictures.
You actually just brought up a really good point. So let's go here. Spending on eBay to sell on eBay.
Right.
What is worth it in terms of spending? Because I mean, there are listing fees, there are additional fees if you want extra pictures, there are additional fees if you want your listing higher up or bold. What have you found as a buyer, as a seller, is actually worth that additional money?
Yeah. So first thing I'd like to say, for the average seller, if you don't have an eBay store, eBay's going to let you list 50 items for free, and they're also going to let you add a buy it now option for free. So they do that. Now, I definitely recommend if you are over your 50 and you list something, I definitely recommend adding a buy it now, because it's only 10 cents more, and you might have to sell just one product to make up that difference. But really, if you're getting the bold titles and being higher at the list, paying for that extra stuff, me personally, I don't think it's worth it. I just stay with normal things that are free. Look at the time that you're actually listing an item. So for me, what works out best, if I list something at 10 p.m. Eastern time, sells the best for me, because I know people over on the Pacific time are just getting off work, and people on the Eastern time are just getting ready for bed and they're shopping on eBay.
What do you look for as a buyer in terms of a listing, in terms of a title, in terms of a description? What do you find to be most engaging?
So whenever I'm searching for something specific, obviously the first thing you look at is the picture and the title. So for me, what I like is if someone would highlight, or not highlight, but make all caps of specific things I'm looking for in the description. Like, for example, I want to look for the brand name, of course, the size, and then maybe something small that would really describe it. But a lot of people try to fill the whole description with all caps or all lowercase, but really people just look over that. So if you can highlight or just make bold the specific items of your description, and the other stuff can be lowercase, you're going to have a better listing that way.
You have been delightful. Thank you so much for sharing all this information. Is there anything that I didn't ask you in terms of a tip or a suggestion you might have that you would love to throw out there to people at the last second?
Yeah, absolutely. So I share a lot of my tips and tricks on my blog at ebayentrepreneur.com. And really, it's a community where people can go, and it can be a new user or even an average user or someone that's been doing it forever. And it's a community where people share their own stories, and I share my story and my tips and tricks. And it's just a great place to go if you're looking to sell on eBay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.